Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Wednesday, where every Wednesday I post a new video. In today's video, I am going to be making a gnome. I've never made one before. Someone invited me to a crafting group and I was asked to do a gnome, and yeah, so we're going to do a gnome for the first time ever. So what you're going to need is, I'm going to use this styrofoam cone. I've seen a lot of people using socks, but I'm going to use the cone. I'm going to use some felt. I'm going to be using socks. I'm going to be using these shoe forms that you can get when you go to Dollar Tree. You buy these little socks, and they come with this little shoe form in them. That's what I'm going to be using to make my gnome stand. And I took a piece of cardboard and cut it out and glued it to the bottom so my shoe will have a sole. And it's going to be covered so you won't see it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down so y'all can see what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do is take this cone and wrap it around this. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue. I'm so curious to see how this turns out because like I mentioned, I've never made one before, and someone asked me to. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and pull tightly so we can get this. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue down the seam here and fold it over and try to get this to stick. So now we have that, and I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue through here. So we got this taped or glued here. Now I'm going to take a rubber band and I'm just going to pinch here. So I'm basically just putting this in a little bitty knot like this. And I'm going to do this tight a couple times. Well, a few times. Like this. And I am going to cut here. Like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull that down over the top. So I am just going to, so basically what I'm doing is pulling this to cover the band, the elastic band that we just put on. So I am just going to go take some hot glue around this, and I am just gluing it down. So that's what we have. Now I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to trim around this, just like this. Just going to give it a little bit of a trim. We're going to save that. Now I'm just going to slice, take my I'm just going to go around the edges and glue this down. I'm just going to hold that there. Grab some more glue sticks. Stick it in here. And we're just going to continue to go around. So I'm just going to continue to go around just like this, holding it. A little more. And now we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit right through here. Seal that. Now I am going to cut here. And I am just going to go ahead and cut it. If I do it like this. And I'm just going to draw a circle around here. Just like this. So I'll know about how big I need it to fit this. So now we're just going to cut this out. And I'm just going to put that, and it fits right over. So we're just going to put some hot glue right across. And put some right through there. And we're just going to go ahead and put this right on top. And we're just going to push this down. And I'm just going to push this on here. Next, what we're going to do, and I want that to be towards the back, I'm going to take my little nose that I have here, and I am just going to wrap this so just going to go ahead and put some hot glue around the nose. Put this right on top. And now I'm just kind of smoothing out any of the rough edges. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors, and we're just going to cut. And then you just want to pick about where you want the nose to be. And I am going to put mine about here. So I'm just going to go under here and just go ahead and push my ends down to make sure that everything is flush. Going to put a little bit down through here and here. Alright. So I think I'm going to put my nose about here. So I'm just going to put some hot glue on here. And I am going to just hold this here for a minute. Give that time to dry. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to make the inserts for the legs. So I'm just going to go ahead and push that through very carefully that I don't cut myself. And I think that's about where I want them. Same thing to the other side. And now I'm going to take my wooden dowels that I have here. They stand 8 inches tall. And I'm just going to stick those in. And you want to make sure they're even. Okay. Now I'm going to put some hot glue down off in the holes. And this is just going to hold the legs in place. So just going to put some hot glue down in there. Put a little more. You're going to stick your legs back in here. But you want to make sure that they are even. You don't want one leg higher than the other. So this looks about fine to me. Well, not no more. Let's just pull that out a little bit. Okay, this one needs to come out a little. Okay, there we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and just use a little more hot glue around the outer edge. So what I'm doing is just using a little bit of hot glue to seal it here. A little bit of hot more. And we're going to let that dry. So while that's drying, I am going to go ahead and, so what I did was I took a sock and I cut it in half. And what I did was I folded it over on itself on the end wrong side out like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and seal this like this. And I'm just going to let this dry. And then I'm just going to turn it inside out like I have this one. And we're just going to go ahead and push this up on the gnome's leg. This is going to be his pants or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to push this up like this. And if you think that's too long, I'm just going to cut a little bit of that off. And I'm going to try this again. And like I said, this is my first time making a gnome. So what I'm doing now is, you can see this is on the outside. So we're just going to go ahead and tuck this and pull it through. That way we can have the seams on the inside. And I am just pulling this through. And this was the time-consuming part. This was the part that took me a while to get through. So, and I almost have it. You can get this through a lot faster if you take something with the end to it and push it through. I have this little stick here, but I don't think it's quite big enough to do what I want it to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to pull this, push and pull this through. So now that I have it pulled through, I'm going to pull this back off, and I'm just going to use this for measurement. And we're just going to cut that right here. So I'm just going to slide this on, just like this. Push this up. Do the same thing to this one. Slide this on. Push this up, just like so. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is I am going to go ahead and take my hot glue, and we're just going to make a hole in the middle of these shoes. That way I can stick the wooden doll in. So I'm just, all I did was let my hot glue get hot, my gun, since it was already hot. And I just went ahead And I'm going to see if this will hold, which go through. Yep. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue down off in the bottom and stick my gnome feet in. So let's grab a glue stick. It's going to put some hot glue in. And we're just going to go ahead and put this one in there. Just like that. Put this one in. Just like this. And I want to see how well it stands. And it stands pretty good. So now I'm going to let that dry. But while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and turn in my my other. This was going to be the arm sleeve, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this inside out so it's facing this way. And I thought I had did this one already, but I hadn't, but it's cool. So now I'm just going to go ahead, finish tucking this through. And I may have to tape or hot glue that back together because I see it's coming apart on me, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this undone. So now that we have this already tucked and pulled, I'm going to grab some polyfill and we're just going to stick a little in there just to give the arm a little bit of weight. So I am just going to go ahead and stick some of this polyfill down through here. Cut it out, Coco. My dog is in here trying to find something to get into, like always. When I'm filming a video, she always wants to get into stuff. Because I'm not focused on her. That's what that is. And I'm just going to add a little more. Okay. That's good enough. So I'm just going to stick this. See how I like that placement. And now we're going to go ahead and stick some polyfill in the other one. So I'm just going to take my finger and slide that in. I can use this pencil as a guide to get this to go to where I need it. I didn't need it with the other one, but I need it with this one. So we're just going to go ahead and continue to stuff this one. So if you can find something to stuff with, or if you have I'm assuming that I'm thinking that would work too. If you use like a pipe cleaner, you can use that to stuff down in here too. That's probably what I should have went with, but this is my first time making one, so yeah, I guess we're gonna find out how it comes out. Okay, so I'm going to stick just a little more in here. And that is good enough for me. And here they are. And yeah. So before I glue my arms into place, I am going to take my beard and I am going to just go ahead and I want to make sure that everything is even. So, okay. So I am going to grab some hot glue and I'm just going to go from here and we're just going to go all the way around to the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this beard on. So what I'm doing now is just sticking my beard into place. There we have that. I'm going to turn my camera a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead and I want to put one arm here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here. And we're just going to stick that on here. I'm going to hold that right there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm going to go ahead, put that there. I know the arms seem like they're a little high up, but I want them to be that way. So now that we have those there, I'm just going to let that dry. And I'm going to take my socks. And I think I want to do blue and white just to throw in a splash of color. So I'm just going to go ahead, put these socks on. And these are going to represent his shoes. So we're going to pull that up on here like that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just going to pull this like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the white on top. And I'm just going to leave it folded down just like it is. So we're just going to go ahead and stuff. Turn this. And we're just going to put this up on itself like this. And I'm trying to make sure I got it turned the right way. There we go. And now I'm just going to pull this up. And I'm just going to leave this down just like that, because I want it to have a little bit of color. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So we're just going to pop these on. And I got the socks. You can get the socks at Dollar Tree, but I couldn't find any of the socks at Dollar Tree that I wanted to use. So I ended up going to Walmart and getting the socks. But everything else is Dollar Tree. So this is what I'm still adjusting. So and now I'm just going to pull them up in the back. And there we have it. This is what we have so far. So now I want to go ahead and grab his hat. I'm going to put this back down. Let's turn this a little. I got his hat. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on here. And I'm going to pull it down and tuck it under. So what I'm going to do is grab my hot glue. And I'm just going to go across the bridge of the nose. Like that. And I'm just going to stick a little bit here. Just a little across there. We're just going to stick that down on itself like this. And do the same thing to the other side. So we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue down through here. And then we're just going to hold it here. And I want this to hang. But I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue. And I'm just going to turn this over. And I am going to put a little bit, just a dab right there. And I'm just going to push this down and hold that. And I'm just going to shift it a little bit. Just adding a little more glue. Now I am going to cut a little bit of his hands, of the sleeve off. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I am going to add a wooden bead. So it is in like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put some hot glue right here in here. And I'm going to take my bead and I'm just going to stick that in the middle. Just like this. Hold that there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. But I'm going to go ahead and stick this through the bead. I'm going to stand this up. Okay. So actually, I decided not to go with the stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that wooden bead and I'm just going to stick that in the middle. Just like this. Those are going to be the hands. And this is what we have. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down through here. So I'm going to seal this here. And this is what we ended up with. I'm just making sure that it stands for me. And that it's not crooked. Okay, it helps if I adjust and fix the socks. Because I think that's what my problem is. The socks don't want to stay. And you can move the feet and adjust the feet any way you want. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just playing around with it, trying to get it to stand. And there we have it. Here is our gnome. Let's move this light a little bit so y'all can see. Here's our gnome. Turn this back around so y'all can see a little. There we go. So this is what our gnome looked like. I'll slide back so y'all can see this is the gnome. And like I said, this was my first time making this little guy. So this is it. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back up. So this is my little gnome. This is how it came out. I think it's kind of cute. But yeah. So my first time. Like I said, this is my first time. I'm still learning. So if you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. And if you want to see me do any other type of video, please let me know in the comment box below. And with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. I hope you all have a nice night. Bye.